Mr. President.
Senator from Kansas.
Mr. President, thank you. I'm here this afternoon to congratulate Herb Holzapfel on his retirement as chairman of Farmers Rice Cooperative. Farmers Rice Cooperative has a long and distinguished history and an equally long history of influential leaders, and Herb stands out as one of those leaders, one of the very best. It may seem a little bit odd for a Kansan to be congratulating a Californian, but in this job as a United States Senator, in my earlier days as a congressman, a member of the House of Representatives, this job gives you the opportunity to meet lots of wonderful, interesting people. And as a person so interested in agriculture, I had the opportunity of meeting Herb now back in my days in the House of Representatives. And he is one of those special people that is a joy to know, and someone who has such a strong passion for agriculture, and so we easily connected. And his love of agriculture, his engagement in the industry, his work in the industry has improved the lives of farmers and consumers for more than 40 years, including 33 specifically with Farmers Rice Cooperative. Herb's a passionate public servant. His love for public service dates back to early moments when he remembers meeting Ronald Reagan as a boy, and that was an inspiration to Herb. As he was attending the Boy Scout National Jamboree here in the nation's capital, which marked the beginning of a life of serving others, he had the opportunity to become acquainted with Ronald Reagan. Herb grew up with a sense of duty and was drafted and served in the Vietnam conflict just 1 year after he married his wife, Ginger. Herb joined the National Guard the same year and began farming rice. He was offered a spot in 1975 in the Officer Helicopter Training School, but he had to turn it down in order to get his rice harvested. Herb has always been on the lookout for opportunities to serve other people and has never shied away from hard work. His father would always tell him that in order to make something better, a person has to be involved. And Herb took that message to heart and committed himself to doing things in the right way, to being fully involved. Herb joined the Farmers Rice Cooperative in 1985, and he became a board member that year. In 1998, he was elected chairman of the board and has served in that position since then. For 20 years, Herb has fought for rice producers, and he leads and represents them in such a fine fashion. Herb is always focused on finding solutions that will make sure that the next generation of farmers and ranchers are better off than the last. And he's worked with many members of Congress to accomplish that on both sides of the aisle. And as chairman of the co-op, Herb spent a significant amount of time in Washington, D.C. doing just that, representing agricultural producers in the halls of Congress. He's one of the most genuine people I've ever met. If you've met Herb, you'll remember Herb. And he goes out of his way to build genuine relationships with members of Congress, and he knows the importance of our staff. He has become a trusted advisor and a source of wisdom and good advice to many people in Washington, D.C., and in so many ways that includes me. There has been no better ambassador for agriculture, and especially for rice, than Herb. It's not uncommon for Herb to take an incoming call from D.C. while on his tractor back at the ranch. Herb's legacy at the Farmers Rice Cooperative is one of his great achievements. He's assisted in reforming the cooperative board and the co-op over the past 30 years and has impacted every facet of the company, from dealing with the leadership of the co-op to down to the nuts and bolts of the mill, the rice mill. He's one who showed me how rice is grown, and that was necessary because no Kansas farmer knows how to grow rice. His goal has been to leave the company and the industry better than he found it, and I tell you, Herb, you have achieved that goal in spades. As I said earlier, Herb never shies away from hard work. This means he won't be slowing down, but only changing directions. He'll continue to work on the Farm Credit Council Board of Directors, which he's been a part of since 2012, and Herb's impact on the world and agriculture will continue to be felt for years to come through his work at Farmers Rice Cooperative and there at Farm Credit Council. I'd like to thank Herb for his years of advocacy on behalf of agriculture, rice, and all the things that agriculture is comprised of, including wheat and cattle and corn in Kansas. He made the case for all of us, for our farmers and for our ranchers. And I appreciate that very much, and I appreciate him standing side by side and us being a team to see that good things happened in rural America. I wish him the very best in his new phase of life, and I thank him for his service and his friendship.